Hello everyone and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is our paper talk. We're going to be looking at some of the news that's come out and also a quick look at Ollie's press conference from today. First news, the one in the headline, Rashford rejects Raiola. This is from an article from The Athletic that came out yesterday from Laurie Whitwell. According to him, Rashford had had some meetings with Mino Raiola with the conversation on him probably doing the same as what Jesse Lingard's done and going and working with him. It wasn't about him moving away, but Rashford straight away, the offer of assistance was declined. I think that's great news. It's one of them. You look at what's happened with Lingard right now. There's also in the article it says a source close to the first team says the club is sick to the core that Jesse is now teaming up with Mino Raiola. So that in itself, as soon as that happened, everyone's talking about Jesse Lingard, him moving away, him going elsewhere. It's not what you need. And with Rashford rejecting that, Rashford sticking with what he's doing, it just shows that he is committed to staying for a long time at United. And do you know what? A bit of good news at the minute because it's not been great so far. Thanks, mate. A bit of good news about that because, like we said, it's not been the best of times at the minute. Obviously, looking at Lingard, there's been reports of him leaving, and then the Mino Raiola thing. That's just flaming that because it's not the. Raiola's not our favourite friend at the minute, anyway. But moving on from Marcus Rashford, we're going to look at Harry Maguire because, to be honest, I don't think anyone really knows what Harry Maguire is doing because there was reports just after the City game that he'd torn something in his hip. That sounded like a really serious injury that it was going to be a month, maybe 6 weeks out. Then reports came out yesterday where it was going to be 7 to 10 days. Ollie's then come out in his press conference this morning saying Harry's got a chance for tomorrow, so we'll give him today. Training and see if he gets through that one because it wasn't a bad one, so we'll see tomorrow. So he also mentioned that he could have been fit for the City game. It was more the fact that he hadn't trained and wasn't match ready. So there's a good chance that Harry Maguire will start tomorrow. I mean, that's a huge boost for us, especially with Ollie didn't mention in his press conference about Phil Jones, but he looked to pull a hamstring, I think, in the latter part of the game against City. I think he was trying to tackle someone, so that's how he's probably hurt himself. But, having Harry Maguire back, it kind of calms people down a bit. There's people panicking. There's people saying, why aren't we getting Chris Smalling back? Why aren't we signing someone? We're going to get someone on loan. It's not that bad. Jumping on that as well with centre-halves, Ollie also mentioned in his press conference about Eric Bailly and Tim Fosu-Mensah. They're going to play in the reserves. So he said they're going to play in the reserves. That'll be positive for them. They've been waiting for a long time and training for a while now, so it'd be good to see them in the proper kit. Absolute boost to get them back. I think there's questions over whether Eric Bailly can push and get himself into that starting 11. And then Fosu-Mensah, there's a couple of positions that he's played before. He's played at right back, he's played at left back, he's played in midfield. And obviously, with our injuries, with our lack of squad depth, having any bodies that can fit in midfield is a great bonus. Can Fosu-Mensah jump in there? Can Fosu-Mensah be the person that can play in that number 6 role? Can he play alongside Fred? Can he play alongside McTominay? Can he come and be a starter in our team? Also, a couple of other things that Ollie's mentioned in the press conference today. He's talked about our favourite person, Bruno Fernandes. Him and Mick Phelan have been spotted at the Porto Sporting Lisbon game this week. Someone was asked about that, and he said, we go back to speculations and I go and watch games all the time. Where I've been is irrelevant. That's another player in a different club I can't speak about. Doesn't sound like he's interested in that, but who knows? We mentioned Haaland the other week and that didn't come off, but that's the club's policy to not speak on players. I don't think he was ever going to come out and go, oh yeah, I've been to that game. I'm going to be signing Bruno next week. That's his thing. He's not mentioned that. Would you like to see Bruno Fernandes? I think everyone would like to see reinforcements, see someone in that number 10 role. I think he'd fit in very well. Whether that's going to come off, I don't know. Whether it's going to come off in the summer, whether it's going to come off now, I'm not sure at all. Ollie also mentioned on signings, we've got the players we have. If something happens, we'll tell you. I wouldn't expect many ins and outs. Again, not the best of things that we're expecting right now. We need players in. All in that, we've been talking a lot about Ashley Young. He was questioned on that today, saying that, I'll just get the exact quotes on that with Ashley Young. Ashley Young, where was he now? Ashley Young's been very, very good for this club, being a very good captain for this season, so let's see where we are in June and Feb as well. He's also mentioned Inter Milan interested in Young. That's a discussion for me and Ash we'll have when it comes up. We haven't got too many players fit and ready, so we need the ones we have. This is one of the things that's summing up the club at the moment with the Ashley Young thing. We all can admit that he's not going to be a starter for Manchester United right now. But the fact that it's the middle of the season and he's wanting to leave by the sounds of things, that's not a good sign. And also the fact that there's rumours of us handing out contracts. This is the kind of thing that just needs to be dealt with. This kind of just says he's going, he's staying, he's going in the summer. Just deal with it. Instead of it shouldn't be dragging on. Ashley Young isn't a player that we need to be really fighting over. It's just someone that we need to make a decision on and move on from it. And let's see how that goes in the next few weeks. I think, to be honest, he'll probably stick around just because of the lack of numbers we've got, but I do see him leaving in the summer. Jumping into the comments now, what have we got here? There's people saying Maddison, Grealish, Chilwell, Sumari, and Sancho. That's ambitious to say the least. I don't see any of them coming in January. To be honest, I think they're probably going to be more of a summer signings. Definitely, I think Grealish is going to be on that list. Chilwell, I think that's all going to be down to how well Brandon Williams does and also how well if Luke Shaw improves. If he gets his fitness back, I still think Luke Shaw can fight and try and get himself into that team. But, if he's not the case, then I think he's going to be probably looked at, moved on and maybe replaced. And Chilwell, I think, is probably the number one target, but he's probably the number one target for loads of teams. What else have we got? I think Ollie doesn't want to get our hopes up, but he knows he'll be getting a signing which will boost morale if he plays it down. Definitely, I don't think he's going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to get 3 players, 4 players, because he knows that that's probably not a possibility. That's we've been looking at all the way through that he's always mentioned that it is tough to do signings in January. So he's going to keep playing that down, so that if we do get the 1 or 2 that we have been linked with, then it's an absolute bonus for us. I think we will sign someone. I think all the rumours coming out this week, I think we will be getting someone. I'm hoping it's going to be a midfielder because we are short in that department at the minute. Someone also mentioned Sal Niguez. I think that'll be a quality signing. I think this 9-year contract thing that he's on at Atletico Madrid is crazy. And I think we mentioned it on the podcast yesterday. Who's the team that's going to be able to spend the money to get someone that's in a 9-year contract? Manchester United's the top of that list for the people who are going to spend that kind of money. Who else have we got in here? Anyone know why we're calling up Borthwick Jackson? I don't know about Borthwick Jackson. He's been seen this morning. There's a picture of him arriving at the training ground. There's a lot of things. We brought Ethan Hamilton. Is it Ethan Hamilton back? Is that the lad? Yeah, Ethan Hamilton. Then he went straight back out on loan again. Could that be happening with Cameron Borthwick Jackson? Has someone come in and said we want to buy him? That could be a possibility. We might just be bringing him back just so the fact that we can move him on straight away. It's not someone. He might not be someone that we want to stick around. Especially as in fullback positions, we're talking about Ashley Young. We're pretty stacked in those positions. We've got on the right hand side, we've got Wan-Bissaka and we've got Delo. Left hand side, we've got Williams and Shaw. Ashley Young can play both sides. Ethan Laird can also fill in there. You've got Fosu Mensah probably coming back as well. Fullback isn't a place that you're going, oh my God, we need to be bringing people back. Centre halves, definitely. That's probably someone. But, he's also mentioned Bayer's coming back. I don't think Twanzebe's far away, so I don't think we need to panic too much. We've got a comment here saying, first off, we need a CDM. When Matic plays, we see how badly we need a specialist CDM. I think, it depends. Again, it all depends on how Ollie wants to play. I think he's stuck with this 4-2-3-1 all the way through. I think this is his long-term plan. I think he's kind of in the point he wants to stick with this. This is his long-term vision. This is how he sees getting the best out of the players he's got and the players that he knows are going to stick around for a long time. Yes, we have looked better when we've gone to a 4-3. I think we've looked better when we've gone to a 4-3-3. But Matic, I just don't think you saw it in the Arsenal game. He just got overrun in midfield. I think in a couple of games they've done quite well. I think in the I think the City game in the second half, it did change the game a bit and kind of nullified their false 9, which was what was the thing that was making them play too well. So yeah, a CDM, but I think he wants someone that's going to do a bit of both. I think the Van der Beek rumours. I think someone that's he's not quite a 6. He's more of the 8 role that's going to do go alongside a Fred, go alongside a McTominay. He's going to go up and down. That's the kind of player I think he's after. I think he's after an 8 and maybe a 10. I think that's the kind of person he's looking at. Someone's mentioning try Wan-Bissaka at CDM. There's no one getting past him. Leave him at fullback. You've seen the fact that moving players around does not help the development. You see it more in the forward positions, but you'd want these defenders to get in the routine. Wan-Bissaka has been signed for a lot of money. He's a young age. We want him to be our right back for a long, long time. Let him play there. Let him make that position his own. Let him become a specialist in that position. There's no point moving around. I can see potentially if we have to switch to a 3 at the back, potentially that maybe him come on the right-hand side of a 3, but him still pushing towards that right-hand side. I think he defends too well in the channels. It's a very different position to defend in the middle of the park than it is to defend on the right-hand side of the park, because it's using pushing them out wide and stuff like that. That's where he does well. We've got also, Martial signed a 5-year deal showing his willingness to the cause. Why aren't you praising him as much as Rashford, everything considered? I've not slagged off Martial in the slightest. I do think Martial, he has signed that contract. There is always questions marks about him just because of his demeanour, and I don't think that's a problem. I think that is just how he is. I think, he is someone that's not going to be smiling and joking on the pitch. He's not going to be someone that does that pressing style. He's not someone that runs around as much as Marcus Rashford, and that's kind of where he gets question marks. And there is games where he kind of goes missing. Marcus Rashford, when he has a bad game, you can see him putting in that extra 10% to do the running, even when things aren't quite falling for him. Martial doesn't quite do that. He kind of fades away, and that's probably why he gets a bit more stick than anyone else. But, Martial, I like him in that number 9 position. I think he's brilliant. I do think we need another option. I think that's probably why people are questioning things, because I think if we can get an out-and-out number 9, we were linked with Haaland, we've been linked with other players, that out-and-out number 9 that someone can head the ball, that can challenge people in the air, can maybe hold it up in an aerial presence a bit better than Martial does. Martial does really well when the ball gets played to his feet, but when things are in the air, that's where he struggles. I think that's where he kind of falls down. That's why I think people are still always looking at maybe not replacing him, but trying something different. That's what we're looking at with Martial. One last question. We're looking at the whole talk of getting director of football went quiet once the season started. I think I would rather it in Jan, which would be more long term. Director of football, I don't know what's going on with that. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's going to stay as it is for a long, long time. I think something's going to need to go really, really. Ben Shaw, I've never seen Rashford put extra effort in. You're talking nonsense. Do you watch Man United? I mean, are you mad? Have you not watched Marcus Rashford play a game of football? He runs his bollocks off every single game. The one thing you cannot knock about Marcus Rashford is his work rate. He has games where his touch isn't quite on. He has games where he misses a lot of chances, but you can never knock Marcus Rashford's work rate. Busby legend, Martial is way better than Rashford. Okay. I don't agree with you there. I think Marcus Rashford, you've seen this season, he's on to 16 goals. I think they both can play well and have been doing well all season. I want them both in the team. I want them both rotating out. I want the fact that I want to have 6 forwards there. I want to be able to rest some of them. I want them to be able to move into different positions. I want games where Martial can start on the left and a different centre forward. That's what we want. Right. I'm gonna finish it there. Cheers for watching. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. We've got a 3-point preview coming on later on. We've got Stephen Howson's transfer review later on as well. Make sure you give a watch to them, and we'll see you next time.